I was born in 1947. I'm 63 today. I know what freedom. I had a taste of freedom as a child. As growing up, all we did was we played all summer long until late at night, catching fireflies. Children groups, baseball, whatever. We ran, we played, we went to school. We had organization to our lives. We had structure. We had total sanctity at that time. And even then, those freedoms were being stripped. And the reason they were being stripped is because our society was losing its moral compass. We were losing our direction and not even knowing it. We were coming out of a war. And wars have been used to change the direction of nations for centuries and centuries. So it's a common practice. Get us into a war, you've changed our sanctity, our security, and now you have us more readily hunting for someone to protect us, to guide us. And we were coming out of World War II after I was born, and there was still some of where you had to have, I can't remember what it's called right now, but I remember that you had to stand in line to get an appliance. My parents had to get on a waiting list to buy something. But that didn't bother us children because we were kept from knowing the hardships that the war had caused. Men coming home, actually not having much manufacturing base to come back to, having to rebuild. We are a people, tenacious, strong people that rebuild when we are distracted or taken away from our course. We can rebuild. We are really a strong people when it comes to rebuilding. The problem is that while we were being led to rebuild our manufacturing base, our jobs, our communities, our families, other things were being done to move us towards losing these things, these very factors of freedom. And that was the political scheme. That was the government was growing. Now the government had got its feet wet in the war. It was taking power, and it was assuming power. And the regulations and restrictions and limited resources that we had after the war, it took its toll on us. And you have state schools that started telling us early on in the 50s and 60s that we could be anything, we could do anything. And movements were created out of this loss of direction and identity. Our country took a big, big fall morally after World War II. We started hunting for the pleasure days. We wanted to fulfill the restricted days with pleasure. We wanted to move and give me. I want better. I want a color television. I don't want a radio anymore. I don't want a black and white. I want a color television. I want this. I want that. And I want became the mantra for this nation. And we became we started on our very big road of consumer. We become a consumer nation. Not a builder nation, not a maker nation, but a consumer nation. And our technology started ramping up. Our corporations started moving to supply the demands. Our global economy had to grow, and we had to partner more with Japan as far as technology went. We were in a race for the moon. We were in a race, really, to create a greedy, unsatisfied society that had an appetite bigger than it should have. And we still throw more away today than was ever created in the beginning of our country. We had the foundation of building from scratch. Farmers, they got up in the morning, they got up and went to bed at the dawn, at the evening, and they got up at dawn, and they did this, and they sacrificed, they worked day in and day out. We get up, we hit all of our electrical appliances. We listen to the radio. We get up, get ready, go to work, get our coffee, get everything for our day at work, if we work. And we run out the door, jump in our cars, and we feel at the end of the day we have suffered immense labor. And most of us don't know what labor is. Our country had a moral compass in the beginning, in the founding years, because it had to survive. And it had to depend on God and neighbors. We had to depend on the society we were raised in, we were living in. Everyone had to join together because life was hard and it was sacrifice. And a lot of people had to suffer early on. I never had to really suffer. I never had to know what had been done to create the society that we were given in our founding documents. But I'll tell you, I've come to appreciate those that did. And I have learned that by us, we as a people, as a whole, not suffering anything and sacrificing anything to attain what we have today, we don't appreciate it. So that's why it's so easy for us to be moved and manipulated, because we are a me society, self-agendized. Me gets in the way of everything. What do I get? How do I get it? What am I going to lose? Who's going to do this for me? Who do I have to do that for? And do I have to do it? That is the society that we have become, morally bankrupt. Our compass now tilts, and it can't find the four directions that we had in the beginning of our country. Our moral compasses are constantly tilting inward towards ourselves, no matter where we're at. We have a chance to change our future from what it is to what it should be. And that is a collective mind that wants to give us the chance to be free again and accountable, individual, and responsible. You know, the 3 R's back in McGuffey Readers, back in the turn of the century, the 19th century, was reading, writing, and arithmetic. And today, our society is redistribute, recycle, and refuse. And that is a far cry from where we were at the turn of the 19th century to what we are today. And I think that House representative is not a job that I can go up as one person and say, I'm going to do this, this, and this for you. It's a job where I can definitely promise that I will go up and educate any of my fellow congressmen and representatives to what they have lost and why they don't understand it, how they've been processed. And I will vote no on anything unconstitutional, so you'll never see a yes out of me because they don't know what the Constitution should be. But I'm just letting you know that I'm the change that you really, really need.